like Johnny Unitas would throw 3 touchdown passes in this game. Look at the rainbow he makes to Malcolm Floyd. You remember him as Malcolm Seaford. He's now Malcolm Floyd, 24-13 at the half. The Boilers.
Yeah, you see Benny Clark here spot shadowed in coverage on Malcolm Floyd. And it's a classic example of losing concentration, watching the quarterback as he rolls to his left, and then Malcolm Floyd getting deep. And a great delivery by Chandler across the football field.
As we mentioned, he had 3 touchdown passes, Tom. Second half, 24-13. Eddie George stacked up. No, he's not. This isn't a guy that looks like Philly. He looks like Brett Irv and Phyllis George on this play. 76 yards. He could go all the... Vinnie Clark tackles him after a 76-yard gain, but Willie Davis catches a touchdown pass, and it's 31-13. Tommy, look at Kevin Hardy.
Well, these are the hits that you live for as a weak side linebacker, the ones where you come untouched. You get in that track stance, the quarterback never sees you coming. We take a look at it here on the replay, and you can see the weight with which he delivers that blow to Chandler.
So the big play, because the Oilers held to 3 instead of 7, it's 34-20. Mark Brunell at a 300-yard day passing over the middle to Pete Mitchell. He's sandwiched. It's a fumble on the 1-yard line. It's the Oilers' ball. But the Oilers did nothing with it and have to punt it away. Chris Hudson, look at him go down the river. He goes 43 yards down to the 3-yard line. Next play, Brunell to Keenan McCardle. Despite the great coverage by Darrell Lewis, McCardle holds on. 2.5 minutes to go. It's 34-27. You know what's coming. We know what's coming. They know what's coming. But Dave Thomas, one of the McKenzie brothers, falls on the onside kick for Jacksonville, and the Jaguars are in business. Second and 6 at the 38. Brunell to Pete Mitchell. It's high, and Marcus Robertson picks it off. As we mentioned, Brunell had a big day for Tom Coughlin. McCardle caught 8 for 100. Brunell 302 yards passing. But Eddie George, 17 carries, 143 yards. Chandler, 3 touchdown passes. And I'm telling you, if you off the top of your cup say, name me 5 members of the Houston Oilers, Bruce Matthews, Al Del Greco, and you're stuck. This is a good team, folks. Oilers 34, Jaguars 27. They're both pretty good teams. Everybody in the Central, except the Bengals, 1-1. When we return, Keyshawn Johnson says, play me. Would the Jets do it? Would it work? Jim Kelly says, oh boy, not the Patriots again. Welcome back to NFL Primetime. Well, to quote the Rolling, yes, I know we're only in our 2nd year of existence in the NFL, but if they win at New Orleans, 18 games played, 9 wins. This is an expansion team that very soon could have a lot of the NFL under my thumb. We love the Stones. We love the Panthers. We love Ricky Jackson. He was honored at halftime of this game in New Orleans, as named rightly on the Wall of Fame in the Superdome. 100 minutes to go in the first quarter. Winslow Oliver, the rookie, off the punt from Klaus Ginsmeyer. And he could go all the way. 84 yards. Winslow Oliver looks like Winslow, like hope, whatever. It's a touchdown. We're tied at 7. I knew I would screw that up. Everett to Michael Haynes. Down the left side, a 50-yard completion. 3 plays later, Jim Everett and the Saints. To Haywood Jeffrey. Touchdown. 27 yards. Saints lead it 14-7. But defense for the Panthers.
Yeah, Panthers always getting after the football. Bottom of your screen, Lamar Latham and Steve Everett. Very lucky there that he wasn't hurt seriously. And then we see Latham make a slight mistake here. Again, he comes from the bottom side of your screen. And his job here is stay as deep as the ball until you see it go past you there. He lets Bates get back behind him for a nice 33-yard gain on the play. Sets up a field goal. It's 20-19 the Saints. But young second-year quarterback Kerry Collins. First play with 7.5 to go and down. They need drives. Muhsin Muhammad, 18 yards. Second play, Mark Carrier, 14 yards, another first down. Third play, Collins to Carrier, 13 yards, another first down. John Casey, would he have a chance? He has 4 field goals today, but he's sitting alone. Collins to Muhsin Muhammad, the rookie again. But Collins hurt on the play. He would have to leave. Here's what happened. Winford Tubbs into the back of his leg. Every time I see that, I think of that Y.A. Tittle injury. A knee sprain is all it is, but he would have to leave. But Carolina, they have a really good backup. Steve Berline to Tim Biakabatuka down to the 1-yard line. Panthers can't score. They send in John Casey. Would he get his 5th field goal of the day? You betcha. This guy's been perfect all year. 5 field goals today, 2 of them of 51 yards, and the Panthers lead it 22-20. Next Saints possession. 4th down. Jim Everett, incomplete.
Carolina Panthers, who trailed 4 times in this game, came back to win it. And the Panthers, yeah, they're 9-4 in their last 13 games as they beat the Saints by the count of 22-20. As Bianca Batuka had 74 yards rushing, just 2 sacks today for the Panthers. Everett had a pretty good day for 255 yards, but it was the Panthers that are 2-0, and Tommy, they're 2-0 in the division, and we talked about them last week on Primetime. Hey, folks, I don't know that they're going to win the division. San Francisco's in the division, and they don't think they're going to win the division, Carolina. But this is a playoff contender.
They're going to have a nice week leading up to that bye week, aren't they? I think that, you know, when we talk about the brilliance of this ball club and Bill Poley and the general manager and how he's put this club together along with head coach Dom Capers, you look at today's game, you see Winslow Oliver, a special teamer, and this is a guy, I was at their headquarters for the draft. He said, I need a guy who's a scat back type who can do some things for me in terms of punt return and kick return and special teams. We saw him do that today. And then John Casey, 10 out of 10 in field goals. So they do the little things right, and this takes some teams a long time to learn. They already know how to win the close ones.
Yeah, we have a backup quarterback that knows what he's doing. They weren't happy with punting last year. They bring in Ron Stark. They got return guys. They got Wesley Walls at tight end to help the quarterback. That no turnovers today.
No turnovers.
Okay, second-year quarterback, no turnovers. You watch it. This team's coming. When we return, the Falcons and the Vikes. Jamal Anderson, like an old-timer. Bears and Redskins defense. Bears and the Redskins, 2 storied teams at RFK. Michael Westbrook missed last week. Gus Farrat says, hey, welcome back, big fella. First quarter, Farrat says, I can find you. 13 yards, Westbrook and the Redskins on the move. But it was a first half in which there were a lot of yawns. Terry Allen takes the hand. It's a fumble. Vincent Smith recovers for the Bears. And Farrat didn't get a lot of help.
Yeah, he has to. The receivers have to catch the ball. And Leslie Shepard right here, ball thrown a little bit behind him, but he doesn't make the catch. And then Brian Cox doing what he does best. He's at the weak side linebacker spot right there, applying the pressure and sacking Farrat.
Even the sure-handed veteran receivers, like Henry Ellard. Pass a little low, but he drops it. 3-3 game at the half. Second half, a little bit different for the Redskins. The Bears 5, but here comes a big play. Eric Kramer to Michael Timpson with the catch. Stanley Richard, I shot the sheriff, forces the fumble. The veteran Darrell Green picks it up, and it's the spark the Redskins needed. Here's another look.
Yeah, take a look right there. Michael Timpson, he's going to get both feet down right there, takes a tremendous hit, and gives the ball up.
Henry Ellard with a reception across the middle, 17-yard gain. Next play, it's Farrat to Ellard. Look at the job he does to keep both feet in bounds. Gain of 18. What a play. Next play, Farrat. Terry Allen. Over the right side for 28 yards. The lone touchdown of the game. It's 10-3 Skins. Allen at 83 yards. Eric Kramer, no, he didn't have a great Monday night. He struggled today. Although he gets the Bears going on this pass to Bobby Engram. Norv Turner, Dave Wannstedt, 2 of Jimmy's top aides. They were the 2 coordinators. And that's Norv's brother, Ron Turner, who was the Bears' offensive coordinator, plotting against him. The Kramer to Timpson, Kramer to Engram. 13 seconds to go, the game on the line. 4th and 1, Kramer, incomplete. So Norv beats Dave Wannstedt. So both of those teams are 1-1. As the Redskins win it by the count of 10-3, Washington had 4 sacks today. Vikings and Falcons, and the Vikings playing in the
1-800-COLLECT. The way we call collect today.
Time for game balls. Billy, what do you have?
Primetime player, Colts tight end Ken Dilger, a game ball for making 7 catches at tight end. Team record 156 yards as Colts beat the Jets.
My primetime player is Eddie George, the number 6 pick in the draft, the Heisman Trophy winner. They talked about the power, the speed. We saw all of it today, the ability to make the cuts. He was a key to Houston's victory over the Jaguars.
And Tommy, my game ball goes to you, to Tiny Tom Jackson, whose record of 191 games played for the Broncos was surpassed by John Elway. You tell me a linebacker that has 20 interceptions. Way to go, young man. We'll be back. Okay, it's been a close game anyway. Don Shula watching his son Dave try to get the Bengals back to 500. They're 1-2. John Elway. To easy Ed McCaffrey. Down to the 11-yard line. Cameron took a beating today. 9 of 11 in the first half on third down conversion. So Elway was sharp there. And did I say sharp? Yes, I think I did. That's Shannon Sharp, number 84, touchdown. The Broncos lead at 7-3. Second quarter. The Bengals respond. Jeff Blake runs it in. Not used to seeing him do that, but 10-7 Bengals at half. Third quarter. Same score. Elway to Anthony Miller. The dart. Pretty good coverage, but a 23-yard touchdown. The Broncos lead at 14-10. Fourth quarter, the Bengals trailing. Jeff Blake pressured. He never really did get things going. And was all said and done, the Broncos up their mark to 4-1. They beat the Bengals 14-10. John Elway, 2 for 335 yards in the game, although Tommy really a quiet 335. And for Cincinnati, Jeff Blake needs to get to that intermediate passing. They didn't really mount any attack.
Yeah, I think a story of missed opportunities on both sides in terms of the offenses provided. John Elway, though, put up the big numbers, and Terrell Davis provided the clock killing at the end of the game.
See, so we squeeze one in. What we're going to do is, until the baseball game is over, we'll be back and forth here with Dan and Joe out at Chavez Ravine, and us here at NFL Primetime. We'll see you for NFL Primetime if and when the game ends. But right now, let's go out west. All right, guys, thank you very much. So what a great end to the regular season of Major League Baseball. Congratulations to the Padres and, of course, the Dodgers for getting in as well. We'll start the baseball playoffs on Tuesday, and we are ecstatic about having the majority of them here, at least the opening round divisional playoffs on ESPN. We're also ecstatic about getting started now in our NFL Primetime with Tom Jackson and Bill Pito. I'm Chris Berman. Let's get going with the Lions and the Buccaneers. The one team that the Bucs have ever had any success with at all in the NFL is the Detroit Lions. They're 78-200 against everybody but Detroit, 17-20 against Detroit going in. So could the Bucs smell a victory at the big sombrero? Let's see what happened. Well, first quarter, look at this. They're going in. They're going to take their first lead since 1981. But no, Trent Dilfer picked up by Benny Blade. He could go all the way. Look at Trent. He's used like a dish towel. He's just dragged, gone. 98 yards, 7-0, Detroit.
Yeah, Blades with the coverage on Thompson. A great job of reading the quarterback's eyes right here, making a nice break on the football, and taking off for the other end zone.
Meanwhile, the Bucs. Trent Dilfer, even when his passes were there, they weren't there. Off the hands of Alvin Harper. Dilfer's pass to Courtney Hawkins. Ron Rice makes a nice play. Trent limped around. And watch this hit. Van Malone on Alvin Harper. Boom! He's Muggsy Malone. Watch it again, Tom.
Yeah, and the pass thrown inside exactly where a receiver doesn't want it and hung out to dry like that by Dilfer, one that Harper will remember.
Only the Bucs could have the ball for 21 minutes in the first half and trail 17-0. Only Tampa Bay. Meanwhile, what about tackling of the Bucs?
Well, missed tackles contributing to the Detroit success. Here, Herman Moore catches the ball and gets down the sideline for an extra 8 yards. Barry Sanders on the swing out of the backfield, and the fourth Buccaneer will make the tackle. Hardy Nickerson finally brings him down. And then with the handoff, Barry Sanders should have been trapped in the backfield for what should have been a 3-yard loss. Instead, he goes down the field for an 18-yard gain.
Barry at 73 yards on the day. One bright spot for Tampa Bay. Well, at times, their special teams. Jason Hanson, 39-yard field goal attempt. Watch this. It's blocked. It's blocked. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to the Super Bowl. They're fired up. This could change their entire season around. Wrong. Trent Dilfer throws it to Kenneth Gant. He figures, hey, I need a first down. So what if I'm out about first down for Tampa Bay? Tony, it'll get better, I guess. But Dilfer, Alvin Harper, and when he completes it, Dilfer gets hurt. Weldon came on later. Oh, by the way, Detroit having a field day, despite the fact that Tampa had the ball for a lot of the first half. Scott Mitchell to Herman Moore. Herman had a big day. And the Lions going to beat the Bucs 27-0. The old whitewash. Mitchell throwing for 230 yards more, 9 for 104. The Lions picked off Dilfer twice and Casey Weldon once. Raiders and Bears, two named teams. Raiders, Bears, Soldier Field. They're both 1-3, much to the chagrin of that man, Al Davis. Second quarter, the Raiders trailing 3-0. Steve Wisniewski, this is the old Raider type, against Alonzo Spellman. And Spellman, Wisniewski, we don't like it. Still second quarter, Raiders trail 3-0. Jerry Ball blocking in the backfield. clears the way, and I do mean clears the way for Derek Fenner, 7-3, the Raiders.
Yeah, and Vincent Smith, the first guy through the hole, and you're trying to figure out a way to get out of Jerry Ball's way. Doesn't really block anybody right there. He does get on John Magnum at the end, but guys trying to figure out how they can get out of the way of the big ball.
I would think so. Hostetler in the third quarter with the Raiders up by 7. Eludes Spellman, finds Timmy Brown for a touchdown, and it's 17-3 Oakland, Tom.
Yeah, Alonzo Spillman here with the cast on his left hand. This caused him to not be able to wrap up on Hostetler. Haas does a good job of straightening up and throwing the ball.
But the Bears down 17-3 in the third quarter, mount a comeback. Dave Craig, who has started now for 22 times against the Raiders, to Michael Timpson, 29 yards. Same drive. Craig feels the rush, delivers it right at the right time to Rashaan Salam, his first career TD reception. And the Bears have scored in the second half for a touchdown, the first time all year. First offensive touchdown, 17-10. Fourth quarter, now it's 17-13. Haas, pass, tipped out of Tim Brown's hands into the hands of Barry Mente. That interception leads to the former Raider, Mike White. Cut Jeff Jager, preseason, 41 yards, good. Third field goal of the day at 17-16. Raiders by 1. 4.5 minutes to go. Bears on the 35-yard line. Rashaan Salam bust forward for 17 yards to the Raider 48. Would Jeff Jager have a chance to do it his ex-mates? 2 plays later, he might have that opportunity. Craig. Oh, it's on the money to Curtis Conway down to the 31-yard line. 15 seconds to go. Jager gets ready. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Uh-oh. A shot of Jagermeister for everybody. It's on the house. It's good. 4 field goals for the former Raider, now Bear, Jeff Jager. And the Bears down 14 in the third quarter, beat the Raiders 19-17. Dave Craig threw for only 190 yards, but felt the rush coming all day. Tom did a good job, and the Raiders are now 1-10 in their last 11 games.
Yeah, and I think when you look back over that record, a lot of things have gone wrong for the ball club. A lot of the things that you saw today, missed tackles. Rashaan Salam, not known as a guy who's elusive getting down the field. He's known as a straight-ahead power runner. And then when you look at the quarterbacking, Dave Craig sacked once on a day. Jeff Hostetler under constant pressure. And if you're the Raiders and Al Davis, I think now you start wondering who's going to continue to play for you week in and week out. A lot of guys wish maybe that they were wherever Anthony Smith is right now.
Well, they may be getting on that bus, leaving the team. Who knows? And the Bears, hey, they're in the division with the Packers and the Vikings, but still 1-4 versus 2-3. 2-3, they can make something of their season. It was a big comeback for the Chicago Bears. When we return, speaking of the Packers, hey, everybody got in the act today. Look at Reggie White. Rick Meyer got to know him a little bit. Obviously, the Steelers represented the AFC in the Super Bowl last year. Oilers coming up in the AFC Central. They're both 2-1 going in. But the Steelers said, if you're going to take over the lead in our division, in our house, you better be able to sail up all 3 rivers. And here we go. Greg Lloyd on the sidelines. Remember, he was hurt week 1. The Steelers are 0-1, but they've come back. Mel Gray used to be one of the best, had a couple of troubles here this year. He fumbles, and Myron Bell recovers for the Steelers very early. Mike Tomczak takes advantage. Look at the pass to Cordell Stewart. It's a touchdown, 7-0 Steelers. More problems for the Oilers. Plan was pressure Tomczak and run the youngster Eddie George. He rolls right. Number 92, Jason Gilden with the hit. Jerry Olsavsky falls on it, and the Steelers get a field goal out of it against Jeff Fisher. It's 10-0. Then Tomczak to Charles Johnson. Makes a beautiful leap between defenders and goes all the way in, 17-0. Does it remind you of partly, Tom? Partly?
Well, certainly a nice catch, but Swanee made this one in a Super Bowl, and yeah. I don't know if there's a lot of room for comparison.
At any rate, it was a Steeler going up to make a nice catch. Second quarter, 17-0 Pittsburgh. Chris Chandler looks deep, and he's had a great year. Chris Sanders makes a great catch, but they call it offensive interference.
Yeah,
Why?
Initially, you looked at this, and it looked like the DB was thrown by the receiver, but you look at it again, Saunders lays his hand. He doesn't put the defender to his back. The momentum carries him by. That should have been a good catch. It wasn't. It was called interference.
Then watch what happens here. The pass is complete to Mark Bruner, but Marcus Robertson and the quarterback, Mike Tomczak, start the fight. And look what happens. Kung Fu fighting, and Robertson gets thrown by Tomczak, comes back and grabs the face mask, jerks him around. Eventually, Robertson would get ejected. Flags, teams, everybody off the bench. It's a freakish the Oilers, meanwhile, coming back at 20-7, and then Yancey thick pin off his head. What a great play by Darrell Lewis. This diamond ring, 36 yards. And the Oilers have pulled to 20-14. In the fourth quarter, though, the Steelers say enough is enough. Pressure to Chris Chandler. Arm is hit. Darren Perry picks it off. God, take that, says the Steeler defense. 30-14. Then things get ugly. Shane Edge, first NFL game. He's going to take the safety. Gets drilled by Steve Jackson, no relation to Tom Jackson. But then, after Darrell Lewis comes in, and the punter, and the teams, and the refs, look at the fans and the people on the sideline scatter. Brawling again. Edge is ejected. Here's Mr. Clean going off with him. And when it was all said and done, the Steelers won 30-16. The Oilers are a much improved in a game team. But I think we start with Bill Cowher, Tom, because he had the Steelers ready.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about this all year. No Greg Lloyd, a lot of that defensive personnel missing. He has made the most of Jerome Bettis and put together an outstanding game plan for this offense week in and week out.
The battle of the expansion ball between two ferocious cats. Who would be the top cat, man? Panthers and Jags, it was hot. Over a C-note at Jacksonville. The mascot helping out the fans, spraying them off. 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Mark Brunell to Jimmy Smith. 14-0 Jaguars. Then the Panthers, who beat San Francisco last week, come back. Timmy Biakabatuka. John Jerkovic takes him down, and Biakabatuka limps to the sidelines. Sprained left knee, did not return. Hopefully, it's not bad. Next play, Tony Brackett, the rookie. What a big game he had. Sacked Berline, and he recovered the fumble. Third quarter, Mark Carrier. The ref ruled Carrier has possession on this pass from Brunell. Then Steve Berline was a Jaguar last year. Slides, he's hurt. Kerry Collins, who was hurt, warms up, comes in. 3rd and 25 at the 45. But Collins, the youngster, says, why not fire it? Remember all the Hail Marys the Jags had last week? This is Muhsin Muhammad under double coverage. And now we try the onside kick. But Pete Mitchell recovers for Jacksonville. And the Jags, who really outplayed the Panthers drastically in this game, although the Panthers came back. Jags win a 24-14 bracket, 2 sacks, 2 fumbles, forced 2 fumble recoveries, 5 sacks in all for Jacksonville.
Yeah, and remember the Jaguars' success against the Steelers in week 1. The same defense today, or a similar defense presented by Dom Capers. They dominate again.
And you know how bad it was for the Panthers? David Casey showed he was human. After 13 straight field goals, he even missed a field goal. Hey, they can't win every game. I think they found that out. I think they'll take the 4 and win it. I think people know that Jacksonville's pretty good, too. Niners, Gerald Favre and the Pack were cooking in Chicago. Jimmy was having a bad hair day in Miami. Must have something to do with the freezing rain. In New York, the Jets are trying to pick a fight with the Raiders. Elway and the Broncos try to derail the Bulls. The Lions look for more success at home as they attempt to ground the Falcons. Captain Comeback looks to keep the Colts unbeaten. While in Baltimore, Bledsoe to Jefferson means bad news for the Ravens. The Elvis Tour hit St. Louis for a date with the Rams. Bates and the Panthers try to go psycho in Minnesota. It's time to go airborne. Week 6 of ESPN's NFL Primetime is next.
Midway in the third quarter, Indy came alive, and now they have the ball in starting at the Buffalo's 39-yard line. Marshall Faulk bursting free.
And hello once again, everybody. Welcome to NFL Primetime. If it's Sunday, it must be football. And with me to start the presidential debates, the 2 candidates, please. I'm Chris Berman. I think you know that. That's Tom Jackson representing, I won't say which party. That's the judge. Phil Pito representing another party. We're ready to debate Week 6 of the National Football League. First, though, we should tell you, we'll keep you updated on the Las Vegas Invitational. Do they have a playoff? Does Davis Love win? Does Tiger Woods win? Stay tuned. We'll keep you posted as developments warrant. Late scores around the National Football League. The Chargers led the Broncos 17-0. But with 2 minutes to go now, it's been all Denver since that, a mile-high 28-17, the Broncos in a battle of 4-1 teams. Big game at Buffalo. Long time to go. Colts and Bills are tied at 10 at Rich Stadium. 11 left. San Francisco doing what they always do to the Rams, beat them. They lead 28-3 with 2 minutes to go, this time indoors at St. Louis. And the New Orleans Saints may get off the schneid. Everett to Torrance Small with under 2 minutes to go, touchdown. The Saints have taken the lead over the Jaguars 17-13 at the Superdome as the excitement mounts in that building. The Falcons try to get off the schneid for the first time this season at 0-4, but tell you what, they picked the wrong place to go because very tough to win at the Silverdome. Detroit has won 9 straight going into today's game at the Silverdome. June Jones, Bobby Hebert, no bad words there, just some rough play because the Lions, some good defense against the scrambling Hebert. He tries to move the pocket, but he gets forced out of bounds. Next play, Hebert pressured again, and he spins. He does well to get rid of it, Tom, but...
Draw play, handoff to Crockett. Zach Crockett is to the 23-yard line, hit by Mark Maddox.
Now that's one. Excuse me. Go ahead, Tom.
And Ted Washington.
That's one thing that will slow the pass rush of the Buffalo Bills down. They have harassed Jim Harbaugh unmercifully today.
Pressure from the Lions. Hebert is hit as he tries to pass it. Yeesh. Lions lead at 7-0. And Wayne Fonts at home, and his team is rolling, and Scott Mitchell starting to roll again. It's Brett Perriman for the post pattern. 14-0 Detroit. Look at Perriman's move.
Darnell Walker at the cornerback. He takes the outside move. Perriman beats him to the inside easily for the touchdown.
Lions stay rolling. Mitchell to Herman's Moore. 25-yard doink doink. Pinball into the end zone. 21-0 Detroit. Then late second quarter, Barry Sanders. Oh, it's a flea flicker. Mitchell, Herman Moore, touchdown. 28-0. The Detroit Lions are, well, they're psyched, and they're also ahead. 28-0. Even the armchair quarterbacks were psyched until the Falcons show some life. Late in the first half, remember this name, Jamal Anderson. Boom! Into the end zone. Take Brian Stewart along for prisoner. 28-7. But Detroit's still a lapper, right? Wrong. Now, when you have to try and tackle Jamal Anderson, watch him take on Van Muggsy Malone. Right there. The Falcons on the move. First and goal. Another draw. This play was there all second half. Juking, chiving, power. Touchdown, 28-14. You know what? I think, Bobby, we should give the ball to Jamal Anderson. So late in the third quarter, look at this. Watch this run. Boom, bing, zing. And a scoop. Touchdown. It's 28-21, but he saved the best for the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and take a look at the power and the balance, the combination of right there, trapped on the sideline, gets away, makes a nice sprint down the sideline. A little bit of a closer look at the front of that play, and look at him take people on. He's not looking to avoid people. He's looking for tacklers.
The Lions get the ball back. So even though the Falcons have cut it to 28-24, a crucial 3rd and 6. Mitchell to Herman Moore down the sidelines, and the Lions run out the clock. I know folks are upset that the Lions were at the 1 and they knelt down. They might have been looking at this game in another way. A, that's a bad way to look at the game. B, shows a little class from Wayne Fonts to June Jones, not running it up on a team that's yet to win the game. Detroit wins it by the count of 28-24, despite Anderson under 3 yards. But a big, big day for Scott Mitchell, who threw for 276 yards. We have excitement going on out at Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Invitational, the 90th hole involving Davis Love III. Let's get out to our golf guys and Jim.
So Chris Gardocki will kick it off with 8:25 left in the game. There's Eric Moulds, the rookie. Moulds a yard deep. Moulds diving forward to the 30-yard line where the Bills will take over. Todd Collins put the Bills up 7-0 with his first career touchdown pass. The Colts were 1 of 7 on 3rd down conversions in the first half. Not tearing them up, but better, 3 of 8 in the second.
GA Tour. We'll go back out to 18 in a moment. Well, the Jets wish they could go back somewhere other than been playing football. Wins have been a premium lately for them, but then again, they've been a premium lately for the Oakland Raiders, in which what once was one of the best rivalries in all of the National Football League. It's fitting that these two teams struggling for wins met somewhere in the swamps of Jersey. And here we go at the Meadowlands. Keyshawn Johnson, along with Marvin Jones and Hugh Douglas, so many of the Jets sidelined. Meanwhile, though, the Jets defense early said, Derek Fenner, take that. Jeff Hostetler has had so many good games in the Meadowlands, the quarterback of the Giants, and complete the Tim Brown. The Jets do have a defense, folks. 3rd and goal. But Haas incomplete, and the Jets settle for a field goal by George Blanda. 3-0 Oakland. I mean, the Raiders do it. Walking wounded continue for the Jets. Webster Slaughter out with injury. We're tied at 3 in the second quarter. Napoleon Kaufman to watch this. Look at the little man. Whoop! Very Emerson Boozer-like with a spin. 27-yard game for Napoleon Kaufman. 7th play of the drive. Haas across the middle. Oh, the youngster Ray Mickens almost makes the pick. The Tommy Bobby Houston flag.
Yeah, Bobby Houston charged with the late hit here, but this is the definition of ticky-tack. He tried to hold up as much as he could, stumbled into the quarterback and got the call.
Well, the Raiders made the Jets pay. Hostetler, 23 yards. The young tight end, the rookie Ricky Dudley, touchdown, his second 8-play, 85-yard drive, helped by that call. Kaufman, it looks like Yogi Berra jumping into the Don Larson in the perfect game 40 years ago. All right, the Jets. Albert Lewis on the corner blitz. Watch what happens here. Neil O'Donnell down. Tom, what happened here?
Well, Lewis comes free on the blitz. Looked like he got his helmet and arm right underneath Neil O'Donnell's right shoulder.
Out 4 to 6 weeks now. O'Donnell, second-degree separation of the right shoulder. Frank White warming up. I don't know about those Jets sweatshirts. One silver lining in the black cloud that's been the Jets. Nick Lowry, 2 or 3 of field goals. This one ties Jan Stenerud, #1 all-time, 373 field goals. Congratulations, Nick. Third quarter, Hostetler, Timmy Brown, despite the good coverage of Aaron Glenn, down to the 22-yard line. Then Napoleon Kaufman with his hand in the vest. Intervention upstairs for the Jets? No such luck. From the 3-yard line, it's Haas. Haas to Hobbs. How about that? 20-6, Oakland. Late in the fourth, Oakland leads 27-13. Joe Aska, you get the answer. Look at the job of the young man. He could go all the way. 30-yard touchdown, 34-13 for Mike White. Oh, those Raider fans. Oh, those Jet fans. It's too much for everybody. Keyshawn didn't even play any getting advantaged afterwards. The Jets are 0-6. It never started 0-6. The Raiders win it by the count of 34-13 on a big day for Joe Aska, 136 yards. But we got to give, and then you see some more notes there, O'Donnell, as we said, out 4 to 6 weeks. We got to give the nod at least to Nick Lowry, who tied.
Expect Belichick to have any great secrets about his former Cleveland team. As Parcells says, it's a different system, it's a different year, and there's different players on the team. So Belichick, focused and excited. First quarter, Drew Bledsoe comes out throwing. Bledsoe, phenomenal game. Here, we'll go over the middle to Ben Coates, picks up 13 yards on the play. Berry, next play. It's Bledsoe to Coates again in the game. Coates 7 catches for 83 yards. 2 plays later, Bledsoe to Terry Glenn, crossing pattern. Down to the 5, sets up a field goal, 3-0 Pats. Second quarter, Pats down 7-3. Bledsoe goes deep to Sean Jefferson, the former Charger. Rookie Donnie Brady called for pass interference. Tommy, what do you have?
Well, you look at the end of this play, Donnie Brady actually trying to get out of the way. You see him right there trying to avoid contact. A little bit too late, draws the interference call.
So first and goal, Bledsoe somehow to Jefferson. Touchdown, Pats up 10-7. Ravens then go to the ground game. Carwell Gardner. Prep.
Louisville.
Got to get the first one of the year. Do it again. Prep.
Louisville.
Yeah. 20 yards for Gardner. Second and goal now. Ball on the 5. It's Vinny Testaverde. Michael Jackson. Touchdown. Ravens up 14-10. Pats come back. Bledsoe again. To Jefferson again. Look at this phenomenal catch. Down to the 9-yard line. Third and goal. Pats. Bledsoe. Coates. Touchdown. Pats up 17-10. Bledsoe then decides to pick on Donnie Brady again. Eric Turner out. Bad ankle. Pass up top to Jefferson. And another interference call on Brady. So a first and goal for the Pats. Mike Bartram, first career reception, and he's got a touchdown. Welcome to the National Football League. 28-14 Pats after the 2-point conversion. Next New England possession. On the Baltimore 35, Bledsoe, Sean Jefferson, touchdown. Jefferson in the game. 4 catches for 88 yards. Pats up 35-14. Tommy, some analysis.
Yeah, Jefferson on the quarter route here. In a spot shadow right there, actually coming across the field. You look at him at the bottom of the screen, and this is just a sprint for the corner of the end zone. You see the safety pick him up deep, a little bit late on his read. Easy touchdown.
Fourth quarter, Ravens come back. Ernest Biner, 5 yards and a touchdown. Ravens down 46-30 after a 2-point conversion. They're down.
I did mostly.
Climb. Here we go in the sleet at Soldier Field. Wayne bundled up. First play of the game, Dave Craig, who used to play for Wayne a couple years ago when they made such a great run, to Michael Timpson. Nice coverage, 49-yard. That sets up 2nd and 12 from the 19. Craig avoids the blitz, And Curtis Conway is wide open. 3 plays, 66 yards, touchdown Chicago.
Yeah, we take a look here at those linebackers in that blitz package. Corey Raymond on the coverage. Curtis Conway gets behind him easily in the red zone. Nice throw by Craig. Nice catch by Conway.
Barry Sanders got his name into the NFL record books today. His 8th straight season with 1,000 yards rushing, breaking the old mark of 7 straight by Eric Dickerson. Thurman Thomas about 100 yards behind. He'll probably tie with 8. Now watch this. Bobby Ingram on the kickoff to Anthony Marshall, and Ingram isn't done. Marshall behind the wall, cuts through, and look at Ingram, who made the lateral, makes the block, and then they just ran out of gas after 88 yards. But that sets up 2nd and goal from the 1. Craig to Mike Fulkerson. It's only 3rd career reception, but it's a touchdown. 14-7 Bears. Sanders, watch this. Bounce, a block, and then a cut. Watch this. Right there at the 10. He's gone. 22 yards. Barry at 107 on the day. It's 14-all. 2nd quarter. Craig rolls out. And this time, Ingram doesn't have to dish it out. He catches it. 21-14 Bears. Craig in the first half, 12 of 18, 3 touchdowns. Scott Mitchell at the end of the 2nd quarter to Brett Perriman. No weekend lateral. So can they. Ray Roberts. What? Watch this. What? To Johnny Morton. I think that's slightly forward. Bears 1, Lions nothing in the lateral department. And the Bears lead 24-14 at the half. 2nd half, rain, sleet. Only the post office could deliver, along with Raymond Harris, 23 yards. Sets up. Down near the goal line. Harris, touchdown. He had 122 yards. Dave Wanstead had the smile. The Bears had the win. And believe it or not, Dave Craig with the 3 touchdowns vaults from 8th to 5th on the all-time list. He's tied Sonny Jurgensen. He passed an idle Warren Moon, and he passed down Dan Fouts. So Craig up the ladder on the touchdown mark, and Tommy, the Lions in trouble. And 2 old-time classic football teams, the Rams and Bears. Nothing classic about these seasons, however.
The past a lot better than the present, that's for sure. Prior to Week 11, Rams coach Rich Brooks got the word, turn it around or else. The Rams responded with a 59-16 win over Atlanta. And if the Rams win today and then beat Atlanta and New Orleans, they'll finish with 7 wins, which would be great for a team that started 2-7. As for the Bears, 5 of their 8 losses have been by a touchdown or less. The best the Bears can do is 8-8. Really the long way to say not much at stake in Chicago. Tony Banks headed into the game needing 1 fumble to tie the record for most all-time fumbles in a season at 18. The career leader for most fumbles, Dave Craig, another fumble right there. First quarter, Craig would hold on to this one. Go back to pass. Curtis Conway has got it. 28 yards. Touchdown. Bears up 7-0. Second quarter, Banks complete to Isaac Bruce. Hook and ladder play to Eddie Kennison. Trickery there to the 10. Sets up a field goal. Rams trail 7-3 at the half. Third quarter, Rashaan Salaam getting playing time because Raymond Harris injured an ankle, and Salaam his best day of the year. Look at that run all the way to midfield. That would set up a touchdown. Bears up 14-3. Now, Tommy, what do you have?
Yeah, still here in the third, Rams trailing 21-3. Isaac Bruce with a legitimate gripe right there. He's bumped by Marty Carter downfield illegally. Walt Harris makes the tip. Anthony Marshall intercepts the ball. But, Billy, you have to control yourself.
Yeah, Bruce shoving the ref. Flags fly, thrown out of the game. Tommy, now the fourth quarter.
Going to see Eddie Kennison here, right, waiting for a punt. Goes into the end zone. I think he may have not known whether that ball touched him. Should have gotten away from it. He doesn't. And it's recovered right there by the Bears.
Then later in the fourth, Salaam, touchdown. Bears up 35-3. And then Tepper's getting short late. Play is dead, but watch Alonzo Spellman hit Banks. We got a developing fracas. And now we have a full-fledged fracas. Flags fly, hats fly, bodies fly. Bears go on to win by the final score of 35-9. So much for the Rams' chance for a 7-win season. For the 8th time this season, the Rams score 13 or fewer points. Salaam, 19 carries, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns, by far his best game of the year. Michael Timpson also had his best day of the year for Chicago. 6 catches, 111.
Fumbled it out of bounds. Bills ball. To reestablish their first ever meeting between these two. Cold at Lambeau, 3 degrees. Packers trying to bring the Lombardi Trophy back to Lombardi's town. Reggie White trying to get to his first ever Super Bowl. Tyrone Poole nearly spoiled the party. First quarter, no score. And Favre is headed in his direction. Poole tries to step in and steal the offering. Next Packer play, Sam Mills the oldest non-kicker to start in a Pro Bowl. Down to the 1, and Lamar Latham tells Favre, get used to it. Same possession, Kerry Collins, Howard Griffith, the former Fighting Illini, 7-0 Panthers. Joe?
That's a great job. Green Bay's trying to lock up on Wesley Walls, but they wind up leaving Howard Griffith wide open in the end zone. Hardest throw to make for a quarterback.
Pack driving, 3rd and 1, Dorsey Levens, 35 yards down to the Panther 29. He had 88 yards on the day. Tommy?
Yeah, a couple of good blocks help him along here. Jeff Thomason on Kevin Green locks up, does a good job of keeping his hands inside. And Keith Jackson, not known as a really good blocker, fends off Eric Davis enough to spring Levens to the outside.
Second quarter, same drive. Favre. Who else? Levens, 29-yard touchdown, corner of the end zone. Joe?
Oh, what a great job by Levens here. Not only does he make the reception, that's the first part of it. You see him go up, and he wrestles it away from Davis. You can't have it. It's mine, Eric. I don't care. But watch his feet. He manages to have one heel hit, left heel down, right heel down, touchdown.
Later in the second quarter, Favre scrambles under pressure, loses the handle. Panthers would recover following the mad scramble. It is Lamar Latham, the All-Pro, finally gets on top of it, and the Panthers on the move again. Kerry Collins, Mark Carrier. And then Collins, Wesley Walls holds on despite the pop from Eugene Robinson. That led to a field goal, 10-7 Panthers. The Packers get rolling, though. It's Tickle Me Edgar. Edgar Bennett, 7 yards to the right. He had 99 yards on the day. Bennett again goes right. They picked on Kevin Green's side all afternoon long. Then Favre, right. But Kevin Green stuffs him. A key 3rd and 1. Favre looking for Keith Jackson. Gets nailed by Kevin Green and Chad Cota, but hangs on. Next play, they're not going right, they're going left. But it turns out right. 8 yards for Bennett. 3 plays later, Favre. Andre Rison, a bullet for 20 yards. Next play, Favre continues the surgery. Antonio Freeman, 14-10 pack. Would the Panthers run out the clock inside a minute? Well, they should have. 40 seconds to go. Collins gets picked by Tyrone Williams. 2 interceptions on the day for Collins. Tommy?
Yeah, great athletic play by Williams, and the thing that impresses most is he keeps his hands underneath the football so it doesn't bounce out as he hits the ground.
Well, the Pack would capitalize. Favre, Antonio Freeman, that would set up a field goal. It was 17-10 Packers at halftime. Joe?
And Brett Favre under heavy pressure now is going to hit Don Beebe for 29 yards. He just continues to work. You look at those completions after the first half, comes back, sets, moves a little bit, up, drops it right off. There goes Beebe, 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 down the field. Now he comes back again. You thought that was good. Watch me now, says Brett. Oh, look out. Here we go. Here we go. Little push pass, first down. Great play by Dorsey Levens.
You look at it again, he had nowhere to go. Just in the grasp of Kevin Green, they didn't call it. The little shovel pass to Edgar Bennett kind of typified Favre's day. He struggled early and then came back. Third quarter, packed by 7, Favre to Levens. 5 catches, 117 yards, 66 of the 117 on this play, down to the Panther 4. Tommy?
It's a great job of patience by the offense, allowing the defense to commit to pass rush. And then Levens with a great job of cutting back against the defense, getting back to the outside. An excellent hustle by Tyrone Poole coming across the field to eventually knock him out.
Edgar Bennett capped the drive, 4 yards out, 27-13 Pack. More problems for the Panthers. Anthony Johnson finally had a hole to run in. Pack recovered. Joe?
Well, watch Gilbert Brown on this one. He has the presence of mind to get his left hand on the ball and cause the fumble. A.J. goes through, looks fine. Everything looks good, and whoops, there it is. Squirts right out. Butler on top.
Led to a Packer field goal. They win 30-13. They're headed to the Super Bowl, and the Ice Bowl revisited for Mike Holmgren. Brett Favre and Reggie White going to the Super Bowl. Rightfully so. They were the best team during the regular season. Now they'll try to prove that in New Orleans. 30-13, the final to win. Green Bay's 9th straight in the postseason at Lambeau. Favre 19-0 in games where the temperature is under 35 degrees. This will be the Pack's first Super Bowl trip since beating Dallas in the Ice Bowl 29 years ago. Following the game, Andrea Kramer spoke with Edgar Bennett.
You're on your way to the Super Bowl. What does this mean?
It's great for the city of Green Bay. It's great for all the fans here. It's great for the team. It's about time.
How does it feel to get to the Super Bowl and have the biggest game of your career?
I mean, it felt great. We came on here today. Everybody had to step it up. We did it, played great. We on the way to New Orleans, baby.
All of us were dreaming about this game all week. And it was like we were being tormented, you know, playing the game before we got out and played the game, you know. And so, you know, now it's over. We can relax, and hopefully we can have pleasant dreams.
There's no doubt about it that that team, they belong in New Orleans, and I knew the way we played, we belong in Charlotte.
I've accomplished basically every individual honor there is to accomplish in a short period of time. But to go without a Super Bowl, you know, leaves an empty feeling for me and from our team. You know, it's been a fun ride, but we don't want to stop yet.
Packers did not have a 1,000-yard rusher during the regular season. You would never know that by the way they have run the ball the last 3 weeks. 2 of the last 3 weeks, they've gone over 200 yards, including today.
Well, I think it was an offense early on today struggling to find themselves, and they struggled a little bit in the first quarter of this football game and into the second quarter. Now they established the running game. This is the drive that ends basically the first half of football, and it's where they ran the football that's important. Not at the bubbles in that 30 defense, but off the edges, off the tackle edges to the right side for the most part, and then this last play we're going to see them go up top to the left of your screen, right there at the top of the screen, and again, they're turning the corner. So a great job by the tackles, the guards on the pulls, and the backs finding the creases. And I think that after you start to run the ball, you establish that run game, that begins to make the quarterback comfortable.
It really does. It opens up the passing game. Also, it causes the defense to come up the field if you have Brett Favre there and open up those lanes. But what amazes me so much is Brett Favre started in typical Brett Favre fashion. He came out, he was wild high, he was wild low, he was wild all over the place. That's Brett Favre. The amazing thing, this guy threw 39 touchdown passes during the season, really struggling through the first quarter of most football games. This was just a typical make-a-play, improvisational type of play by Brett Favre.
Plus, you never got the sense that he panicked today.
He always looks like he's panicking, but he never does.
I know. And keep in mind, though, here's a guy who showed up at training camp this year and says, Super Bowl or bust.
Exactly.
He knew where this team was headed. And he's headed there because of a pretty good running game. In the last 3 weeks, they've rushed for 573 yards. Let's go inside the numbers to show just how dominating Green Bay was against a very, very talented Panther defense. First 17 games, they had allowed 295 yards. Edgar Bennett, a big reason why. Green Bay done in over a decade. We in 3 consecutive postseason road games. The only franchise to pull off that rare three-peat, the same ones that the Jags met in Foxborough. Back in 1985, the Patriots left home to beat the Jets, Raiders, and Dolphins. The reward that year, the same as this year, a trip to New Orleans. We take you to Foxborough. Bill trying to get back to the Super Bowl for a 3rd time. Tom Coughlin, who worked under Parcells with the Giants, trying to go in his 2nd year. Drew Bledsoe, Mark Brunell, the leading contestants. Jaguars' first possession, 3rd and 15. They try to contain Brunell. Brunell scrambles. Chris Slade trips him up from behind, short of the 1st down. Jacksonville will punt. Mike Bartram snap is high. Brian Barker tries to scramble. It's down at the 5. Larry Wiggum, Tommy.
Yeah, Brian Barker took the high snap, but he has to at least attempt to get this ball up. I think he felt like he was getting more pressure than he actually was.
New England would capitalize. Curtis Martin plows in from a yard out, just 2:26 into the game, and the Patriots lead 7-0. Parcells trying to mix things up a little bit on the Pats' next drive. 1st and 10 from the 19. Bledsoe picked off by Aaron Beasley. Off the deflection, Jacksonville takes over at their own 22-yard line. Jaguars would get it going, and they would get it going by Mark Brunell. Only 4 of the quarterbacks have thrown for more yards in a season than Brunell did. He finds Jimmy Smith, 23-yard gain. 3rd and 8, Brunell again looking for Pete Mitchell. 1st down in Patriots territory. Then it's Brunell looking for Mitchell again. 8 yards. Brunell with the time to throw, Joe.
He had some pretty good time all day, and that's because Tony Pacelli did a darn good job on Willie McGinnis most of the day. Willie chased him around a little bit, but Willie's not going to take much from Pacelli.
3rd and 3 from the Pats 15. Chris Slade pressures Brunell into a bad throw. Jags would settle for a field goal. It was 7-3. Still 7-3. Pats punting. Chris Hudson fields it, fumbles. New England gets the ball at the Jags' 20-yard line following the fumble. And they're in business. That would set up a 29-yard field goal. Adam Vinatieri, and the lights went out. A blown transformer at the stadium caused referee Jerry Markwright to to stop the game for 12 minutes. But that could not postpone the inevitable. Vinieri, 29-yard field goal, 10-3 pass. 30 seconds to go in the first half. Parcells wants to go for it. 4th and 3. Jacksonville 45. Bledsoe hits Ben Coates. First down. Time winding down. 2nd and 11. Bledsoe. Sean Jefferson for 38 yards. That would set up another field goal. 13-3 pass at halftime. Third quarter, Natron Means, who had left the game with a sore ankle, was back. He picks up 9. 4th and inches at New England's 30. Brunell, the quarterback sneak. Not even close. Ted Johnson, the big surge. 3 plays later, Bledsoe fumbles, and the Patriots lose the ball. Eddie Robinson recovers. Brunell, scrambling for the first down, leaps over Scooter Magruder to pick up the first down, Tommy.
Yeah, great presence of mind by Brunell as he leaps over Magruder right there, and that's the way go get a first down.
That would set up a 27-yard field goal for Jacksonville. 13-6 Pats. Bledsoe back to pass. Hit by Don Davey. Fumbles. Patriots maintain possession. Vinieri, 46-yard field goal, and they still can't put Jacksonville away. 13-6. 8:42 to go. Brunell, Keenan McCardle to the Patriots' 47-yard line. Brunell, Pete Mitchell to the Patriots' 33. 2 plays later, Brunell, the blitz is on, finds McCardle for 8 yards, but on the play, Brunell cut his throwing hand on a helmet. That set up 2nd and goal from the 5. Brunell, and he did not see Willie Clay. The touchback, Patriots ball at the 20. Brunell knows time is slipping away. Patriots ball 3rd and 6. Bledsoe incomplete to Keith Byers, and the Jaguars would get the ball back. One last chance. 2:36 to go. The draw play, James Stewart right into the arms of Otis Smith, and Otis, my man, is gone. 47 yards for the score. 20-6 New England. Stewart stunned. Got a little more playing time with Means hurt. He can only watch and wonder. Tom Coughlin sees the end of the season. Bill Parcells, this is the 10-year anniversary of the Gatorade dump, made popular by Bill's former team, the Giants. Drew Bledsoe going to the Super Bowl. I think they want some cheese. Whether they want them or not, they're going to get them. The home team 8-2 in the playoffs in 1996. In the 90s, the home team in the playoffs 52-18. Brunell, 2 interceptions. He went 20 of 38 for 190 yards. Natron Means limited to just 43 yards, but he was playing on a banged-up foot. Bledsoe, 1 interception, 178 yards. Curtis Martin, 19 of 59 for 1 touchdown. Following the game, Willie McGinnis talked about the victory.
We knew what we had to do to go in. We played a tough team today. They kept coming at us. They never quit. There's just a lot of emotion going. I don't know. I mean, we just wanted it bad. We just wanted it bad. And we knew for us to win, we was going to have to stop him. And we came out and we did that. But they're a great team, and we're going to represent the AFC like we're supposed to.
Looked like you hid back there in the end zone. Did Brunell not see you?
I don't think he seen me. I came from another side. Me and Otis had a double. I just read Brunell's eyes and stepped in front of whoever the receiver was.
Otis, turnover is a big part of this football game for your defense. Tell me about yours.
Well, I was coming up to make the tackle, and one of my guys hit him, and the ball popped up, and I just scooped and scored. Thank God, you know, I was in the right position. He's been putting me in the right position all year, and I'm happy for myself, happy for my teammates, and I'm proud we're going down south.
This was supposed to be an offensive showcase. You got to give credit to Bill Parcells, and I know that most of his assistant coaches are defensive-minded, and he certainly is, but he did a tremendous job preparing for Jacksonville.
I think anytime you get to this level, Dan, you can sort of put offense on the side, and defense really steps up. 2 things, and Tommy's dad used to say this all the time. You got to stop the run. You have to be able to run the football if you want to win championship games, and that's exactly what New England did today. They contained Natron Means. This is the first play of the game. They've sent a message early to Jacksonville. We're not letting you run. Then he comes on another running play. Doesn't get very far. Then he dropped by Willie McGinnis, who I think had a heck of a day today. Then all of a sudden, one more time, let me go outside. No way. What they did defensively, New England, is they just weren't going to allow Means outside. But I will say this particular loss for the Jacksonville Jaguars hurts bad because they know that they had opportunities to win this football game.
Yeah, the other thing that I think New England did on the defensive side of the ball was made up their mind that they were going to contain Mark Brunell, especially when he tried to escape the pocket to his left side, to his throwing arm, something that the Denver Broncos and the Buffalo Bills did not do a good job of. And I think you credit Willie McGinnis, you credit Chris Slade, but the game plan, they stayed within the confines of the game plan. And you know, if you play the game and do what the coaches say, I think you're going to have success.
Joe, we watched the game together, and we were in agreement, total agreement, that there's a time in the game when you just don't look at Drew Bledsoe and say, I'm confident with what he's doing. He seems to have a lapse in every game. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves and look towards the Super Bowl. That has to be an issue for Bill Parcells. Is it concentration? Is it just lack of confidence sometimes?
No, Dan, you know what it really is more than anything? It's a guy trying to make plays for his football team. And the quarterback position is the ones you do it. You'll see it from Brett Favre in the Super Bowl. You'll see it from Drew Bledsoe in the Super Bowl. I think Drew made a couple of bad decisions. A couple of times the ball got away from him. The interception, he was just trying to force it in. But he comes back and makes a great throw to Shawn Jefferson. And you couldn't appreciate how great a throw this was because it was into the wind. So all he's really trying to do, Dan, is make plays. And you can't fault the guy for doing that. He's just got to be a little more careful the way he tries to make them.
Yeah, the other thing I want to say about that New England defense is that the job was made a little bit easier for them because of something Sterling commented on this morning. They played a zone philosophy behind their front so that they were always looking at the quarterback. They could see what was happening in front of them rather than running away from the quarterback as most teams do.
And you give Bill Parcells 2 weeks to prepare for an opponent.
It'll be good.
And speaking of Bill, he is the second head coach to take 2 different teams to the Super Bowl. Don Shula did that with the Colts and the Dolphins, and he's doing it once again with defense. Let's go inside the numbers to take a closer look at how this Patriots defense has really risen to the occasion. They got roughed up in Week 12 against Denver. They were spanked 34-8, but in the last 7 games, they've allowed an average of 77 yards rushing, 10 points per game, and as a result, 6-1. Still to come on Prime Time, we hand out our game balls, the much coveted Primetime game balls.
Collect, the way we call collect today.
Yes, it is the coveted Primetime game ball. I'm proud to hand mine out to Dorsey Levens, the man known as the Horse, the former Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, 88 yards rushing, 117 yards receiving, and a touchdown.
Well, my game ball's got to go to Brett Favre. You don't get to the big show and win it without a quarterback. There he does a little forward pass, two-handed job. You see him scramble forward. Good numbers, 19 for 29, 2 TDs, Tommy.
And my game ball, Joe, goes to Willie McGinnis. It doesn't show up in the numbers, but he did a good job of containment, a good job of helping to stop the run. Most importantly, he stayed within the confines of the game plan. We'll be back.
With